G'day, Geoff Lewis here from Seriously Series, and today I thought a point of discussion that might be of interest is tubeless tyres on a tube rim. And what is the difference between a rim designed for an inner tube and a rim not designed for an inner tube? What's the go? This can be a bit baffling, so we're going to answer this question for you right here, right now, here today. So if you want to find out more, as always, you know exactly what to do. Click on that subscribe button down below, click on that notification button too, but most importantly, stay tuned. So this might seem a bit of an odd subject area to discuss, but I think it's actually a very important one, and it's a very important one to actually get right. It can be incredibly dangerous. Now, a lot of people are purchasing Land Rover Parentis here in Australia, and for many of them, not all of them, it is the first time that they've owned a Land Rover vehicle. Now, this is a bit odd because the Land Rover Parenti obviously has been in service with the Australian Army a long time, but the world has evolved and sort of, you could say, kind of moved on in regards to tyre technology. Whereas the Parenti has been a constant in an ever-changing universe. I think that's a nice take on it. And it's the same with the Series 2 and the Series 3 and other more mature off-road going vehicles, particularly like the 40 series Land Cruiser, the G60, Datsun or Nissan variant, and many others out there. If you want to buy a tyre today, pretty much all tyres out there on the market are of the tubeless variety, like this Open Country MT. However, back in the day when these vehicles rolled off the production line, it was more of this kind of caper that they were chucking on. And this is a tyre designed to carry a tube. So what's the difference? They both fit on a rim. Well, it's actually quite significant. It comes down to the actual bead construction of the tyre, but more importantly, and what really makes all the difference, is the actual rim construction. And this is really important. If you don't listen to anything else or take anything else on board in this video, listen to this, just for a couple of minutes. I'm not going to chew your ear off. Look at this rim here. We can see we've got a little dish here, and then we've also got another dish here before getting into the main construction of the tyre. Right. Hold that thought. If we look at this one here, this is a rim designed for a tube. We've got a dish here, nothing there. So what does that mean? Well, it's very simple. This here, or this, I guess, indentation here, is designed for the actual bead of the tyre to lock in place. So then when you fill this up with air, or pressurize it, it actually pushes the bead out, and it actually locks in place. Right. Now if we go back to this one, the tube design, we've got none of that. Many of you are saying, big deal, there's no difference. There is. If I were to put the Open Country MT tyre here onto this rim, what would happen if I didn't have an inner tube inside it and I deflated the tyre? The sidewalls of the tyre would actually collapse in on itself, and you would roll it off the rim. It's that simple. Because what the actual inner tube does is push the sidewalls out. So the sidewalls actually hit the side of the rim either side and are forced there and are stuck there. Now, this will work if you're running a tubeless tyre construction or tubeless tyre on a tube rim and you've got it pumped up to 40 psi. But once you start going down below 30, that's when you're starting to, and it's a bit over the top, but it is true, dicing with death. Because if that happens and you hit a corner too hard, well, you know the rest. And more importantly, and this is what I think is really alarming, if you get a puncture, you haven't done your little check that you do in the morning or whenever, and you go off and you hit the road. Who knows what could happen? So it's really, really important to do your homework. And I've gone to people who are supposedly very experienced in fitting tyres, and they've said, no, you don't need to run an inner tube in that. You do. Believe me, you do. And luckily I know one or two people who've been doing this not just for a few decades, but they've been in their family, they've been doing it for generations, and they have concurred exactly what I've told you here today, and it's absolutely 100% spot on. I'm not trying to mislead you in any way, shape or form. Now, another top tip that I'll leave with you here is when you're running inner tubes, and you will need to run inner tubes if you're running the standard Land Rover rims or split rims or whatever it might be, put a little bit of talcum powder in there. Doesn't have to be the expensive stuff, just put a little dash in around the actual inner tube itself, or you can shove it on in through the hole. And because talcum powder is very slippery, it helps to minimise the actual friction that can build up with inside the tyre, because there's this scuffing between the actual inner tube and the tyre itself. And having that talcum powder there can just get a bit more longevity out of your inner tube. Anyway, I hope this video has been of interest to you. Sorry if I've come across a little bit too strong. It certainly wasn't my intention. I just don't like the idea of people getting misled, and I certainly don't like the idea of any of you running the risk of having a misfortune out there on the track. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you are enjoying the content here at Seriously Series, then please do click on that subscribe button down below. Please do click on that notification button too, and as always, I hope to see you in our next video. Thank you.